If you set goals for 2026 and you're worried you're going to lose motivation, fall behind, or quit on them, this video is for you. Today I'm sharing 5 books that you need to get your hands on to help you achieve your goals in 2026. These books are going to help you stay motivated, feel confident, overcome obstacles, and not give up on your goals this year. They do that by changing the way you think about your goals, the systems you use, the strategies you use, and your ability to believe and be confident in yourself, no matter how many times you've set goals in the past and quit or given up on them. This is the year it's going to be different, and these books are going to help you do that. If that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Real quick, if you're new here, my name's Marissa McCool, also known as the Public Health Burnout Coach, and I help women in public health reduce their stress and reclaim their lives. But also, I am a high achiever. I'm a go-getter. My whole life, I have been aiming and achieving for goals. I've accomplished a lot, I've quit on a lot, and I've failed a lot. And these 5 books I'm going to teach you in this video are ones I come back to, I'm not even kidding, again and again and again. If you've been around, if you've been in some of my free webinars, if you've come to some of my free trainings, if you've been a client of mine, then you've probably heard me recommend some of these books before, because I truly believe in them that much. I actually gift them to my clients when they wrap up their coaching program. That's how much these books have helped me, and I believe that they will help you. So the first book I would recommend is The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. Now, I will tell you, if you're only going to get one book out of the 5 I'm recommending today, please let it be this one. If you can only get one, if you're only going to have time to read or listen to one, you're only going to give time to one, that's totally fine. Make it this one. I actually read this book with my husband. We quarterly read a professional development, a growth book together, read it together, talk through it, do the activities if there's activities in them. And for both of us, this is probably the favorite book that we have read together so far. What I love most about this book is it teaches you how to make progress, how to keep going, and how to not quit, even if it feels like you're behind or the goal is impossible. It talks about how, as humans, we tend to look at what they call the gap, right? The distance between where we are and where we want to be. So if our goal is to make $100,000 in our business and we've only made $20,000, our brain wants to focus on that $80,000 we have yet to make. And that feels overwhelming. That feels daunting. This book really shifts your perspective and talks about the importance of focusing on the gain, what they call the gain, which is instead of focusing on that $80,000 you have to go to achieve your goal, focusing on the $20,000 you have accomplished and seeing the progress there and the success there. Now, you might not have a business, right? Your goal might be to work out a couple times a week, to lose weight, to spend more time with your family, to read, to go to bed early. All of those things, this book can apply to that, because you're going to have setbacks. You're going to find it challenging sometimes. You're going to feel like you're not doing a good enough job, and you're going to be tempted to quit. But when you apply the gap and the gain approach and you focus on the progress you have made, the success you have created for yourself, you are going to be so much more motivated to keep going and not give up on yourself. The other thing I love about this book is it includes activities. It includes questions you can ask yourself. It includes practices you can put into place. My husband and I actually did these. We'd sit down and answer these questions together. So it really can be applied. It gives you the tools to implement this approach and this theory in real time. Okay, so the second book I recommend is a classic in the self-help development world, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you all. If you're new around here, you should know I'm brutally honest. I did not love this book when I first read it. I didn't really get the hype. I didn't really understand it. It's not as practical. It's not as applied. Although he teaches through stories and tells a lot of stories, but it's also not rooted necessarily in hard research. And so for me, as a learner, I learn best from either understanding the research or having some practical applied approaches. This was a little bit more big picture. This was a little bit, we could say out there. So I didn't really get it at first, but I will tell you, and the reason that it's on this list and I'm recommending it is as I've been working on my goals since reading this book, it has clicked. It has made so much more sense. So essentially this book talks about if you're working towards a goal and you're working hard and you're really putting in all your effort and you're not achieving it, there is something in your way, and it's often subconscious. It might be this worry what other people are going to think about you if you're successful. It could be feeling like you need to prove your worth to your parents. It's something often very subconscious that's getting in your way. And I've seen this play out in real time in my own life since reading this book and in my client's life. And so it has real validity. I've really seen it, and it makes so much more sense. And it is kind of the missing puzzle piece in a lot of the goal work. It doesn't really have implementation tools or practices you can apply. I actually think some of the things it is addressing in the book are things that really get worked out best in a coaching setting with a coach. And so if you have a coach, or if you want to work with a coach on some of these things, that's a great thing to do. But it's great awareness because you're probably hitting some of these subconscious roadblocks and not even aware of it. Okay, book number 3, You Are a Badass at Making Money by Dan Sincero, I think is how you say her name. I love this book so much. I have read it. I read it 3 times in 1 year. A year I was working big time on money goals. I read this 3 times. Now, if your goal in 2026 is not related to money, making money, getting a raise, getting a promotion, saving money, buying a house, whatever, if it's not financially related at all, you can totally just skip this book. But if there's anything related to finances attached to your 2026 goal, I highly recommend this book. But first, you should know this is not a financial education book. It's not going to teach you how to save, how to invest, how to get out of debt. There's plenty of other books like that out there. This is not that. This is really a book about growing your belief in your confidence in yourself to achieve your money goal. And it's not woo-woo. It's really rooted in the author's experience, her own stories, and the stories from her clients. And also what I love most is each chapter has practical activities you can implement, has reflection questions you can ask yourself. So it's not just mindset for mindset's sake, money mindset. It is money mindset that you're applying and you're making changes in real time. So it's really going to help you believe your money goal is possible, overcome any fear, overcome any imposter syndrome or doubt when it comes to achieving any financial goal you have in mind for 2026. Okay, recommendation number 4, Atomic Habits from James Clear. If you watched my recent video about my top 5 book recommendations to reduce your stress in 2026, you might recognize this book because I included it in that list as well. I included it in both because really, it is beneficial for both. When it comes to goals, which is what we're talking about here today, part of the reason I recommend this book is all about building systems to help you succeed. Now, it talks about in the context of habits, but you can apply everything in this book to achieving goals. So if you want to learn more about this book, why I recommend it, how it's so useful, go check out that other video where I share my 5 books to reduce your stress in 2026. This book's on there. I do a much deeper dive in it, but I highly recommend it for achieving your goals as well. Now, the last book is a little unexpected. It's called The Go-Giver by Bob Burg. It's hard to say, and John David Mann. This is quite a different book. It's very short, as you can see. It's actually a parable. It goes through a story of a salesperson trying to achieve a sales quota. This book is going to be applicable to you whether or not you work in sales, whether or not you have a business, whether or not you're trying to make money. Okay, so just overlook that part of it and focus on the main message. Because essentially what the main message is, we often think that to achieve our goals, especially in our careers, that we have to really rely on just ourselves. It's just a get, give me approach, which not only burns us out, but it burns bridges and it makes it harder for us to achieve our goals. And this book really flips that on its head and talks about how actually giving to others helps us achieve our goals quicker, more sustainably, and in a more fulfilled way. And I'll give you a little shout out to a book number 6 that's tied a little bit closer to The Go-Giver, Give and Take by Adam Grant. I didn't have it on this list, but I want to just give it a shout out because it has a similar theory, but the book is more rooted in research and actual examples beyond a parable. So that also might be useful, but it's the same concept of how giving and doing for others is going to help you achieve your goal in 2026. So those are my top 5 books that I recommend you pick up at your local library, listen on an audiobook, gift even to a friend to help you achieve your goals in 2026. The Gap and the Gain, The Big Leap, You're Badass at Making Money, Atomic Habits, and The Go-Giver. And then bonus 1, Give and Take. Each one of these supports a different part of achieving goals, from your belief, your mindset, to your systems, to your practices, to your strategies. I would love to hear from you. If you've read a book that you feel like is a great book for goals, for achieving goals, drop it in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to read it so it can be on my next year's list of best books to help you achieve your goals. And let me know in the comments what goals you're achieving. What goals are you working towards this year? If you want some support achieving your goals in 2026, I want you to check out my recent video where I talk about my 5 simple steps to achieving your goals in 2026. I break down the exact steps not only I use to achieve my goals, but I teach my clients. They are simple, they are effective, and I teach you the key mistake I want you to look out for that gets most women to give up on their goals, but not you, not this year. So check out that video. I'll link it below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.